Hello ladies and gentlemen, Ghost here, hope you're all having a fantastic weekend, and as it is the weekend, that means it's Q&A time. I did the last one of these a couple of weeks ago, and I think it was pretty well received by you guys, so thank you all of you for your questions, for all your feedback on there. I was wondering whether I should do it weekly or not, and it's been about 2 weeks now, so I'm sort of going to put them out at weekends whenever I can, as I feel, everybody's just relaxing at the weekend, having a good day off work or a day off school, and it's just something a little bit more laid back and casual to do. Alright, so getting into the first question, this is more like 3 questions in one actually, as I have gotten something similar from 3 people here. So I'm going to try and field this one to you guys, all within the same question here. So first of all, Chinese guy asks, what is the process of making one of your videos? I'm curious as to what programs you use and how different it is compared to mine. ACC1 Boss says, what are your in-game settings and why? What is your recording software? And Like Cake says, how do you render in 4K in Sony Vegas? So, to answer you, Mr. Boss, let's start with the in-game settings and why. They're posted on screen now, so you can have a quick gander at those and copy them if you so wish. The reason why I use these is so that I can run with 120 FPS for almost all of the time. I cap my FPS now at 120, and I do have a 144 Hz monitor, so I'm actually able to take advantage of that high frame rate. If you've never tried playing Battlefield 4 at 120 FPS with a 120Hz monitor, I really recommend, if you have the means to do so, giving that a go, because believe me, the difference is like black and white. So what's my process of making a video and what programs do I use? Well, first of all, I use Shadowplay 95% of the time to record. It's great whilst I'm streaming because streaming causes quite a big FPS hit to me, and recording with Shadowplay doesn't lower my FPS whatsoever. There are times that I will use something different like DxTory, as Shadowplay doesn't have the ability to split your audio channels into more than one as DxTory does. So if I'm doing, for example, a Jet Domination commentary and I want to record the game audio on one track and then my microphone's audio on another track, or even Mumble's audio or Skype's audio or what have you, then I will use DxTory when it comes down to that. As for what I use for my editing and all that stuff, I use Sony Vegas. No big surprise there, most people use Sony Vegas, and it's actually the only recording software that is really compatible with the Shadowplay footage that's recorded, so I can't use Premiere anymore for that. I use Photoshop for my thumbnails. I use a great utility called Extended Cinematic Tools, which is something that allows you to alter the environment within Battlefield 4 Spectator Mode. So you can hop in Spectator Mode, turn off the UI, and you can change things like the depth of field within the game. You can make things be a little bit more blurry in the background and give things really a cinematic feel. You can change the wind on Paracel Storm, you can alter the sun, you can change around the fog, you can pretty much mess about with all of the graphical settings within the Battlefield 4 game and change things to your liking in order to make things really nice and cinematic. And I've been using those in my past few intros, so let me know in the comments down below how you guys have been enjoying those, because it does actually take quite a lot of time to make those intros. So as far as programs, that's pretty much how I use things. I know, Like Cake, you asked how do I render in 4K in Sony Vegas. I'm not going to explain that here. I do plan in the future to make a video from A to Z, how I record my videos, how I edit them, rendering, uploading, making the thumbnails, pretty much everything that goes into making one video. And obviously it's not going to be 5 hours long, because I'm going to go ahead and assume that you guys don't have much interest in watching a 5-hour video of me rendering and creating a video, but I'll try and shorten it down and get the most important points to help any people out there who are new to video editing or recording and just really want to get into YouTube. Alright, here's another dual question here that's pretty similar. William Lee says, why do you have children if you're still in your late 20s or early 30s? And Ben H says, how old are you? It never really came to mind until you mentioned you had 2 kids. So to answer the latter question, I am 26 years old. I'll be 27 in October. As for why I have kids so young, I was actually 19 when I had my son, and no, it wasn't planned. So, that's just the way things go sometimes. Don't trust the pill. That's all I can say, guys. Be careful. If your girlfriend says she's taking the pill, you better make sure that she is, otherwise you'll end up like me. But in all seriousness, I really enjoy being a father. You know, I've never looked back or sort of hated upon the fact that I had kids so early. And in a way, I just look forward to the future because my father was pretty old. You know, he was 36, I think, when he had me. So for me to have a child at 19 is awesome because that means I'm going to get to play games with my son when he's older. Hell yeah, man. Alrighty guys, time for one final question here. Shoshana asks, what brought you into Battlefield or gaming at all? And also, what do you do for a living? So, to answer the latest part of your question there, what I do for a living is a professional chef. So I'm actually like a studied chef in Iceland. It took 4 years to learn, and I studied that. I did that when I came here, and now I work in a hotel as a chef. That's pretty much all there is to tell there. As for what brought me into Battlefield or gaming at all, gaming has just always been my #1 passion. I don't know where it came from, but all the way back when I was probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old, and actually my grandma bought our family our first ever 386 computer, and of all games, she actually bought Doom 2 with it, which was probably completely inappropriate for an 8-year-old to be playing, but it didn't actually matter because I couldn't play the game anyway. It came on 2 floppy disks, and it needed 4 megabytes of RAM in order to run the game, and our computer only had 2 megabytes of RAM, so I didn't actually get to play the game. But you know, all the way from my early days when I would just get demo discs from my computer and I would just be playing demos all day long, I've just always loved gaming. As for what got me into Battlefield 4 specifically, I've just always played the Battlefield series, and when I started to fly the jets a lot and get good in those in Battlefield 3, I sort of saw other people making tip videos, and you know, like people like Levelcat back in the early days, some of his videos would help me out, and I thought, hey, well, nobody seems to be making jet videos, and I'm sort of better than most people in the jet, so why not start there? And that's what I did. I made a jet tutorial part 1 in Battlefield 3, which was probably absolutely terrible. You guys can go check that out. It's still my oldest video on my channel as of now, but just don't come here and laugh at me, okay? But seriously, after that I just really got hooked on getting better at the game. I've always been a sucker for improving. Like, if I play an RPG, I want to have like the best fucking loot in that game that I can get, yeah? So like when I used to play World of Warcraft, I was a hardcore raider. I wanted to be the best. And when I play any other game that's competitive, like Battlefield, StarCraft, anything like that, I just get hooked into the game, and I always aspire to be the best that I can be. So it just seemed natural to me to start making a YouTube channel about helping other people get better and helping myself get better in the process. And once I got into sort of recording commentaries, I just found that I really liked it, and I really enjoyed doing that as well. So it was a match made in heaven, my friends. Alrighty guys, that will do it for this episode of the Q&A. It's been a little bit of a longer one than normal, and as always, if your question has not been answered in this episode, there is still a chance it will be answered in the next one, so do not fret. And if you would also like to leave a question down below for the next episode, feel free by all means to do that as well. Alright guys, so that's it for this one. Thank you ever so much for watching. As always, I really do appreciate your support. You guys are just so awesome. If you enjoyed this one, please hit like down below, as it does help me out so much. And if you want to see some more Battlefield 4 tips and tricks, then feel free to subscribe. Alright guys, thanks for watching once again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.